And welcome back to CBS live coverage of the 1998 Bud Shootout. Hey, let's test your memory for a moment. The Aflac question of the day: who has won the most pole positions for the Daytona 500? Ponder that for a moment while we look at the weather here today. It's standing a little on the cool side at 53 degrees and a bustling breeze at 17 to 24 miles per hour. Dick Berggren is standing by with another super story here today, that of Bobby Labonte.
Well, he won the pole for the Daytona 500, which you'll see next Sunday on CBS. Today, he starts in the middle of the pack. And the question to you, Bobby, is how do you keep the fenders on this thing with all these strong cars all around you?
Well, the right side might happen, but if somebody, if I get tire marks on the left side, I've done something wrong. I got to protect that side for sure. But I hope I don't have any tire marks on it. But, you know, this race here might call for it, and we won't try to. But if it happens, it happens. But hopefully we can get the Interstate Pontiac running really good. It's a really nice race car here, so we want to make sure we take good care of it. But we want to end up in victory lane if we can.
It's obvious he's going to run the bottom lane, Ken Squire.
Right on the bottom with that Pontiac where it ran yesterday to take that pole position. First time since Kyle Petty 4 or 5 years ago. Now there's the answer to your Aflac question. Yep, Cale Yarbrough did it 4 times, but don't you forget that Buddy Baker did it 4 times as well. And Baker, along with Ned Jarrett, standing by with the folks who call the race today and through Speedweeks. Here's Mike Joy.
Thanks, Ken, and hello, everybody. All winter long, NASCAR teams have been engineering new body styles, building new engines, and there are a lot of questions unanswered that we'll settle today. Like, how will the new Ford Taurus body style react in the draft? Will the new Chevy small block engine have the power to pull out and pass? And what will this new format do to the race we've known as the Busch Clash? Let me put that question to our master strategist, 2-time national champion, Ned Jarrett.
It's certainly going to make it interesting because that mandatory pit stop between laps 10 and 12 that Ken Squire mentioned certainly throws a new wrinkle into it. And it puts the pit crews into the competition and makes them perform at their very best. But still, you know, this type of a race, you got to go flat out from start to finish.
And when you look at the NASCAR media guide for the words flat out, you find this picture. Buddy Baker, winner of the first ever Busch Clash in '79.
Mike, I tell you what, this is a race driver's dream. $4,000 a lap to the winner. It couldn't be any better. If you love racing, this is perfect. Tires don't matter, gas don't matter, pit stop matters, but let me tell you, you put it on the floor and run it wide open all day.
We've met the men on the front row. Can you win this race from the back? Let's find out from a fellow who's done it. Here's Ralph Shaheen.
Well, Mike, Dale Jarrett won this race from back in 15th position. Today, Dale, you're going to start 16th. How do you win from the back of this thing?
Got to have a little bit of luck, and it's going to take a good pit stop. But we made a lot of changes on this Ford Taurus this morning. See if we can make it a little bit better. Kind of a test session for us for this 25 laps. Hopefully we can get it to the front by the end.
Did you guys talk about pit strategy? Do you know what you're going to do yet?
Well, we've talked about it in a lot of different scenarios, but I think where we're pitting, we'll probably pit with the group as they get ready to pit, which I think everybody's coming at the beginning of lap 10. That looks like what we're going to do right now. We can get in kind of like Spencer did there. He made up a lot of time in that first race, and hopefully we can do the same.
All right, Dale, good luck to you. Now, there is one driver here today who is already a winner. He is driving a Ford. However, it is not a Taurus. Jimmy Spencer is behind the wheel of a Thunderbird. And, Jimmy, can you win this race from dead last?
Well, you know, you think you can. You know, Team Winston's worked hard. We had a great pit stop. You know, the Bud Bash this year is a whole lot different than in the past, and the pit crew's very critical. My boys have been working hard, and I want to say hi to Ned and all the guys back in Winston-Salem. Thanks for supporting Team Winston, and hopefully we can do it again.
Jimmy, what did you learn in that first race that you're going to carry over to this? Is it all in the pit stop?
Well, a lot of it's in the pit stop, but you got to utilize the draft really good, and our car utilized the draft that time well. I'd like to make a change to the car, but it's not loud. So if you're not allowed to do it, we're going to have to do what we got. Hopefully we got enough.
Mike, this is the only Thunderbird in the Bud Shootout field.
They've taken a few moments to get Spencer's car refueled and to the back of this grid as there they sit behind the Pontiac pace car and get ready to roll off in the first Winston Cup combat of 1998.
Mike, that was an impressive run. He started in 13th position and worked his way up to 4th before they made the pit stop, and then came out ahead in the pit stop and was able to stay there the rest of the way.
I will tell you this, the drums are going to beat a little harder now because these guys right here, they are bona fide racers, and everyone in this field is going to go like heck.
Huge crowd on hand to see it. as we officially kick off Speedweeks 1998. Let's go trackside and get the command.
From 9th position. The 8th starter will be Jeff Bodine of Chemung, New York. In the Motorsports Ford, the McDonald's Ford of Bill Elliott of Dawsonville, Georgia will go from 7th position. Todd Bodine out of Chemung, New York has the Tabasco Pontiac up in 6th place.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the most famous words in motorsports, the Grand Marshal of the Bud Shootout at Daytona, Mr. Dan Lefevre. Drivers, start your engines.
Daytona Beach comes alive with the sound of Winston Cup engines. We'll be back with the starting lineup for the Bud Shootout after this. On the pole, Mark Martin, best shootout finish second in '91, and Ken Schrader, two-time winner of this race. Mike Skinner won both Daytona poles last year. Ward Burton fourth in the shootout a year ago. Jeff Gordon is a two-time winner of this race, including last year. And Todd Bodine got his first career pole at Watkins Glen in August. Row 4, Bill Elliott, shootout winner in '87. 15 times he's been in this race. Jeff Bodine won it here in '92. Bobby Labonte won 3 poles to earn his 4th appearance in this race. And front row, Joe Nemechek, a pole at California and Pocono. Johnny Benson, the pole at Michigan last August, his 2nd shootout. And Kenny Wallace, his first start, he won 2 poles on the short tracks last year. His older brother Rusty anchors row 7, runner-up in last year's shootout. And John Andretti, winner of the pole at Talladega last spring. Ernie Irvan moves from Ford to Pontiac. He was 2nd here in '92. And Dale Jarrett won the '96 shootout in his first effort. Finally, Jungle Jim, Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer makes his 2nd appearance. He won the qualifying race earlier today from the very last row. As they roll on the first of pace laps, CBS Sports coverage of the Bud Shootout at Daytona continues after this message and a word from your local station. In honor of NASCAR's 50th anniversary, here's a look back at just one of many moments. It was 1979, the first ever Busch Clash.
Into turn 4, Waltrip will get one more shot. The 1,600-foot straightaway toward the finish line. Here they come. A difference of $32,000 goes to Buddy Baker over Darrell Waltrip in 2nd place.
How'd it feel?
Let me tell you something, boys. That's what it's all about. I was very proud to be in the race, but to win it, hey, that was perfect.
Foot to the floor, Buddy Baker won the first one. Today, 17 cars will race 25 green flag laps, and they must make a pit stop under the green after they complete lap 9. $512,000 at stake, $100 grand to the winner. Ned, let's have a look at this Daytona International Speedway.
Well, of course, it's 2.5 miles in length. Here's the start finish line. 18 degrees of banking there, 31 degrees between turns 1 and 2, 31 degrees of banking here in turns 3 and 4. Now let's take a look at what 31 degrees looks like. There you see 31 degrees right there through the corners, gives the cars a lot of stability.
In this race today, there are 6 Chevrolets, 8 Fords, 7 with the new Taurus body style, and way in the back there, Jimmy Spencer racing last year's T-Bird, 3 Pontiac Grand Prix. Now, 2 drivers that qualified for this event but are not in it. Robbie Gordon won a pole in Atlanta, and Bobby Hamilton won 2 poles driving Richard Petty's car, which does not meet the program requirements for this race by displaying the Busch Beer decal. So Hamilton is not here, and this year's driver for the Petty team is John Andretti. But he can't race the Petty car in this event for the same reason. He's borrowed a car from Ricky Craven. There's that red number 25 that Andretti will wheel in this race. You're going to ride along today with the Daytona 500 pole sitter and last year's winner of this race, Jeff Gordon. He will start 5th. There's our DuPont race cam on board Gordon's car, and you see roof cams are back. Yes, they are. There's one on Todd Bodine's new ride for the Tabasco folks. Last year, NASCAR took away the roof cams because the pod the camera was in benefited some makes of cars and disadvantaged others. This year, all cars will carry that little pod up on the roof. Only a few will get this camera. And It's a brand new view back for us here on CBS. Dale Jarrett, quality care cam on that Robert Yates Thunderbird, starting way back in 16th spot.
Ned, I think he's really happy with that starting spot, though, because the Taurus really hadn't been running that much. He's going to work his way to the front at his own pace.
And here's Daytona 500 pole sitter next Sunday. Bobby Labonte driving for Joe Gibbs, the Interstate Batteries cam, rolling off from 9th position inside of row number 5. Can you hold your breath for 25 laps?
You know, the good part of this race, there is no bad starting spot. Hey, 17th, that's not bad. You can be leading in 5 laps if you have the car.
Just saw Jimmy Spencer there, 17th, Ned, and he's got a long way to go, but he proved about an hour ago he can get there.
Yeah, he came up through the pack at a very good rate, and then, of course, got the advantage of having the fastest pit stop. And that does play into it here today. So, yes, it can be done. But I'll tell you, there are a lot of great cars in this race that are going to be awfully tough to pass.
Pace car dives for pit road. Stock car portion of Speedweeks 1998. Leading the 40th annual Daytona 500. We're under the green flag.
See them already getting 3 deep going into turn 1.
Mark Martin, unlike he expected, has the lead.
Just keep your eye on Jeff Gordon in the 24 there. Drafting it is very important. They're side by side right now. You see Mark Martin. He said his car was not quite as fast as some of these. He's going to have trouble holding them back. You can see side by side, though, they are staying back here. When they get single file, they're running down pretty quick.
Second on the high side, Kenny Schrader looks for the lead in that black and green 33. He's got it for Mark Martin.
Made a great move going into turn 3. Just he knew that Mark Martin was going to stay low. He just drove up on the outside. And back to the start-finish line, Ken Schrader will lead the lap.
For the 12th time in 20 runnings of the pole winners race, the pole sitter did not lead the first lap. You're with Dale Jarrett deep in the field.
Just to the right side, you see Rusty Wallace in the 2 car there as they head down the front straightaway. Those cars are starting to touch a little bit. We talked about rubbing. That's aerodynamics doing that. The drivers are not moving those cars into each other.
That was Ernie Irvin going up on the outside of Rusty Wallace as they sort of split him coming off of that corner.
Riding with Todd Bodine behind Ward Burton. Look at these cars dance as they move the air around at 190 miles per hour. Schrader the leader. Mark Martin, Ward Burton, and Todd Bodine side by side with Mike Skinner. Schrader's trying a breakaway, and now it looks like he's got a group of cars lined up with him.
They know he has a fast race car, and if you can't pass him, best thing you can do is hang on to him.
Ward Burton third in that outside row, number 22, trying to edge away from Skinner. Has Todd Bodine and Bill Elliott in tow on the outside row is beginning to move.
You can see these guys running side by side, though. The 2 front cars right now really running nose to tail like they are actually stretching out just a little bit. Once they ever get, you can see they're still rubbing here.
Watching from Todd Bodine. Looking ahead at Ward Burton. Back up into the banking.
And you can see how much those cars move around. He's on the high side, Ward Burton is.
Ward Burton going by the 6 car there. You can see Mark Martin trying to hang on. They're side by side. Kenny Schrader right now is in the catbird seat out there by himself in the lead.
Schrader Martin among 28 new drivers in Daytona this February with new paint schemes. There's a ride with Todd Bodine. Way up on the banking. Buddy back in the pack. Dale Jarrett. What can you do but sit there and look for an opening?
This is a time to be very, very patient because you do have a pit stop. There's going to be a player in this thing, so you don't want to get impatient. Maybe bend your car up. Here comes Jimmy Spencer in the 23 on the bottom, Mike.
Look at how tightly packed they are as they come off turn 2. 3,000-foot backstretch, and now the checkers game begins. Down to the inside, Jeff Gordon brings that rainbow-colored number 24 all the way to second place.
Boy, did he get a run off of turn 2, had the help from Mike Skinner, and just moved right on up there into second.
Kicked Mark Martin back to 5th. Mike Skinner side by side with Ward Burton. That's the log jam at 3rd place. Ooh, they touch.
I tell you what, hey, this is a chess game. Look, 4 wide down the front straightaway.
Spencer went out. Jarrett comes with him. Rusty Wallace comes with him.
Jimmy Spencer in that T-bird of a bullet, working the inside. He drove all 25 laps of that qualifying race on the inside. There he is in red and white. New colors for Spencer, number 23.
He knows what his car will do. He's already had it in competition. He knows the feel of it.
They've got a bust pass Skinner in 31 and the 22 of Burton. Neither one can gain advantage on the other.
Boy, Kenny Schrader's showing me some power in this lead car, the 33. You're riding with Jeff Gordon going down the front straightaway through the tri-oval here. You can see he's not really closing in much on Schrader. Schrader has a good race car today.
4 wide again as they head down that 1,200-foot short chute for turn 1.
Looks to me like there's 17 good race cars there.
Again, it was Spencer in 23. The straw that stirred the drink and tried to make something happen here. There's Spencer inside of Joe Nemechek, carrying a mostly black paint scheme on his 42 today.
Well, he didn't earn his nickname of Mr. Excitement just casually. He earned it.
We might ought to point out also that is a Thunderbird that Jimmy Spencer's in, and he's moving up through this pack very well. I'm sure right now he's feeling pretty good about his choice for this particular body style in this race.
Jimmy Spencer grew up on the short tracks of Pennsylvania, New York, and New England, where you start in the back and have to fight to the front. All he says his strategy is simple. If there's a car in front of me, I have to pass it. If there's a car behind me, I have to keep it there. That's all I know how to do. Bobby Labonte moves inside of Jeff Bodine's unsponsored number 7. Buddy, is that a lonely feeling when you're the first guy in that line and there's nobody out there to break the wind?
Well, what he has there, though, he's got cars up here running side by side. That pocket of air is really pulling him up through there. He'll run these cars down and get in the fight here.
The Burton car, number 22, also running up toward the
Ken Schrader leads this race. After they complete lap 9, they'll have to make a pit stop. Let's go to the leader's pit, Dick Berggren.
And Mike, that's exactly what Schrader is going to do. As soon as he takes the checker flag, should say checker, he crosses the line for lap 9. Next time around, he is going to come in the pits. Most of the other crew chiefs have said whatever the leader does, they will follow. We'll see in just a couple laps.
I got a feeling that we'll see 17 cars pit at one time. That'd be interesting.
The race is to the swift, but it's also to the smart. And to these crews on pit road who've been drilling all winter long, waiting for today's opportunity, where one pit stop will make or break this race. Gordon in second, Burton in third. Fourth is Todd Bodine. Fifth, Bill Elliott. Sixth, in his debut in this race, Kenny Wallace.
And we saw Spencer pull out one more time. There he is down on the inside, making it 3 wide.
They don't have this many lanes coming into the parking lot. Bobby Labonte caught in the middle.
But he's moving up through that pack, Mike. A moment ago, we saw him. He was right at the back, and he is up to the middle of the pack now.
That's Labonte's green number 18, which has gone up out of view as you watch Frumdale Jarrett with Rusty Wallace and that blue car just ahead. And Johnny Benson on the outside. New colors, new team for Benson, number 26. There's your lead pack. And Gordon, will he stay out? No, he jumps out and comes in. It is Gordon. Everybody.
17 cars.
Whoa, we have cars in the grass.
Well, they can pass until they get to the front edge of pit road. And here they come, 65-mile-an-hour pit road speed. Here's Ralph.
Jeff Gordon comes down to the pit lane. Barry Muse set to jack it up. Boutique Ray Evernham is not going to make any changes to the cars. They're just going to change 2 right side tires. Down it goes. He's underway to Dick Berggren.
Kenny Schrader is in the pits. His crew chief, Andy Petrie, has got the right front tires changed, but Gordon has beat him out, as have several others.
Wow. What a land rush, buddy.
Well, Jeff Gordon got in first. He left first. I know the Race Warriors have to be very happy. His pit crew really did a nice job there.
And a great job turned in by Ernie Irvin's team in the number 36 Pontiac. They got Irvin out in second place. Now, can the draft reform and look? Jimmy Spencer, third.
Wow, he had a great pit stop, and that helped him in the other race to move up to position to win.
Sure did. Got to be proud of that.
Left side of your screen, a 4-car breakaway, and underneath Ernie Irvin, here comes Mr. Excitement, the former national modified champion from Pennsylvania, Jimmy Spencer, started racing in the family junkyard.
Somebody else that moved up. Look at Rusty Wallace in the 2-car going into third place there.
He was right at the back of the pack before they came into the pits, and there he is in third place.
We'll give a call to Rusty Wallace's crew. Bill Wilburn, Robin Pemberton, Mark Armstrong, Jeff Thousand. They got that car with the most improvement of anybody off pit road. Rusty Wallace went into the pits 16th, came out of the pits in 4th place. That's fast service.
Mike, you have a little gap there with the cars behind them. I'll tell you, these three, if they really button up and get in the aerodynamic draft there, they could actually break away from these guys right now.
Spencer stalking Gordon. There's your front three. Little gap back to Ernie Irvin in number 36.
Now, Irvin has the 22 car of Ward Burton right on his bumper. A couple of Pontiacs hooking up together. They should be able to run them down.
That'll help him. They have the draft off the front cars down. With the help that he has, he ought to be able to close back in.
12 down, 13 laps to go. We're effectively halfway. Kenny Schrader's stop was not a quick one. The pole sitter fell from 1st to 11th. So it's Gordon. Spencer in 23. Wallace number 2. 36 is Irvin. 22 is Burton. Then Bill Elliott. John Andretti, Kenny Wallace, Mike Skinner, Bobby Labonte, Kenny Schrader. Then the Bodine brothers, Dale Jarrett, Johnny Benson, Joe Nemechek, and Mark Martin. Spencer is looking a little antsy, but you can't get much lower on the racetrack than Jeff Gordon is right now.
Well, what he's hoping for right now, that's a Ford just behind him there. If they can team up and make a move, Rusty will probably go with Jimmy when they make the move.
We saw in the qualifying race that a couple of Fords were able to hook up and run well together. Lake Speed and Jimmy Spencer.
You're with Bobby Labonte. Behind Mike Skinner, blue and yellow number 31. Looking for a draft, trying to sniff out a draft on the low side. Up ahead is John Andretti. After 13 laps, we've had 2 race leaders. 2 lead changes, average speed, including the pit stop, 173.6 miles per hour. Caution free. And there's the view that every driver here wants to see. Right out the windshield, nobody there.
Boy, I tell you what, that's a beautiful sight when you look in the mirror and see everybody else chasing you. That's the place to be. Let them worry about getting by you. I'll take the lead anytime.
This is Jeff Gordon's 5th Bud Shootout, or Busch Clash as it's formerly known. He won the pole at Charlotte last May. He's a 2-time winner of this race, going for 3. Ernie Irvin battling mid-pack side by side. Bobby Labonte, the green number 18, right behind him as they slip past John Andretti and bring Ken Schrader with them. And Ned, 3 cars broke away after the pit stop, but this pack looks like it's reforming.
They've been able to a couple of cars get together, get in line, do the good job of drafting, so they have moved right up there. And we got other cars that are moving up closer as well.
From Bobby Labonte, looking at Ken Schrader. Action up front. Spencer looked like he had a run on the outside. Here comes Rusty Wallace in number 2.
Wow, what a move there. Going into turn 1, Rusty just swung out and got by Jimmy Spencer. You can see right now Jimmy Spencer's kind of ganged up on there on the bottom side. Looks like Ernie Irvin in 3rd now has the draft on the first 2 cars.
Down to the inside comes Irvin, all the way to the track apron, and he and Ward Burton make Rusty Wallace give way.
2 Pontiacs move into 2nd and 3rd there. They're going to make it tough on Jeff Gordon, it looks like.
There's another one in 4th as Ward Burton rolls up on the inside, and Spencer kicked back to 6th place. Number 23 in red with the white roof, Spencer. Not happy with that. And look at Wallace went from 2nd to where?
back, and Ken Schrader is moving back towards the front. Had a bad pit stop compared to some of the others, but he's coming back.
He's already up to fourth, like you said, Ned, and you can tell that Kenny Schrader may have the fastest car in this race, because when he gets ready to go, he don't have to have any help.
Buddy, Rusty Wallace made that big pass going into one, sweeping on the outside. Does this mean the slingshot is back at Daytona?
Well, what it means is he had a lot of people behind him, and the draft was really strong on the outside. If he'd have stayed on the low side, there was no way to pass, so he took the only avenue he had.
And I think we were all surprised to see Rusty Wallace make that move. Rusty traditionally just likes to run right down on the bottom of the racetrack here at the Daytona International Speedway, but apparently his Ford worked good up there and saw an opportunity and took advantage of it.
Now as they go to turn number one, watch Jeff Gordon on the bottom as they fight up top. Gordon is up toward the wall, goes Schrader up in the loose stuff, and he hangs on.
Spencer will get by in the 23 car. That's the red and white car.
That was a bold move, but it wasn't too beautiful, was it?
It wasn't. He almost bought the farm.
Here comes John Andretti in the 25, Mike. He's really making a move on the bottom side.
He's going to take Bobby Labonte with him. Spencer has to give way, and this is still anybody's race. But as you watch Jeff Gordon, the leader, through these corners, Ned, he is welded down to that white line like the rabbit at the dog track.
Yeah, I think if they pass him, they'll have to pass him on the outside, and he has an awfully fast race car. It's going to be tough to do.
Let's ride with Jeff Gordon down into turn one.
You can see the left front wheel right on the white line. He lets it move up just a little bit there, pins it right back to the bottom as he heads down towards the back straightaway. He'll come out against the wall there, down the long back straightaway. He's running the mirror and the windshield right now, making sure he keeps a good line. You see him pull over a little bit there. That's protecting that lead. Now he'll go back to the bottom of the racetrack through turns 3.
Ned, if you're going to pass Jeff Gordon today, you're going to have to do it down on the flat on the apron or have a lot of help.
And if you do it down on the flat on the apron, you're going to have a wreck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to have a lot of help to somebody to go by. This is a group of cars battling way back in the pack that they're battling for last back there, anywhere from about 13th on back to the rear of the field.
And I believe, Ned, they're all Fords at the back there. Those new Taurus body styles, except for Rusty Wallace, have been worked toward the back of the pack. Going to be 5 laps to go next time by. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
As well as Jeff Gordon is running here today, you might be surprised to find that's not his favorite car. This is only the 3rd time the car has raced. Both times it raced before this, it crashed. Ray Evernham said if it crashes again today, he will personally cut it up. I think he can save his oxygen in the settling, Mike.
You're right. Pontiac Chevys and 1 Ford in that front pack. That's the blue car of Rusty Wallace in 3rd.
Yeah, and you can look at the back of that little draft right there. That green car, Bobby Labonte, we know he has a good race car. And I guarantee you he's going to be something to deal with if he gets up there close to the lead.
You're riding with Bobby Labonte, who has never finished in the top 10 in a shootout. In 3 tries, this is his 4th appearance. He's right up against Ken Schrader there. Oh, Burton, did you see the back end of that car about come around?
You can see what it cost him, too. It jumped sideways, and here comes Bobby Labonte on the inside, just behind Ward Burton there, trying to make a move on the inside.
Burton is the 22. That car got loose going into turn number 3. What a job of saving it he did. But the vultures saw it, smelled it, moved to the bottom, and went on by.
Well, he's got a little help there. You see John Andretti right on his back bumper going through the corner there. That helped him considerably get back up to speed.
Let's check with Ralph Shaheen.
Mike, we talked to Ryan Pemberton, crew chief Ernie Irvin on the strategy for the last couple of laps. I said, Ryan, what's your strategy? He says,
oh, in the wall. Ward Burton bounces off the wall. He may have had contact with another car. He's okay. We will probably stay under green as Burton will bring his car down to pit road and out of this event.
That is tough to look at. I tell you, he was up there with a chance to win and got in, maybe got tagged a little bit and got into the outside wall.
Burton in the grass, and caution comes out. First yellow flag of the day. Jeff Gordon will lead them around, and they do race back to the caution flag. Ned, I'm not sure that the leaders got it that time around. They did not. So they will come around to the caution to get the lineup for the restart. Ward Burton out of his car. He's okay. And Jeff Gordon into turn 3, 2 car lengths ahead of the field as Burton watches in dismay.
Well, let's see if he's turning his back to the field as they come around.
And to the caution flag. Jeff Gordon will lead them. Ernie Irvan, Rusty Wallace. There's Bobby Labonte, Kenny Schrader, John Andretti, Kenny Wallace, and Jimmy Spencer. Mike Skinner, Todd and Jeff Bodine, and Bill Elliott all love to see this caution flag because they will restart double file and everybody gets a fresh shot to win this thing. Let's show you what happened here to Ward Burton, number 22.
Well, see, he's the black car out there, the 22. He might have had a little bit of contact with Bobby Labonte. I'm not sure.
Boy, that's hard to say, Ned. You could see they made down the back straightaway, one moved over, but it looks like maybe he might have a tire go down or something.
Could have had.
We're under caution. These caution laps do not count. This is a green flag only race. So we'll take a pause from Daytona and be right back.
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the king of beers.
First caution of this 25-lap Bud Shootout after 23 laps. 2 leaders. Mark Martin from the pole. Ken Schrader, now Jeff Gordon. 2 lead changes. That was from Martin, the pole sitter, to Schrader, and then Schrader to Jeff Gordon. Ward Burton is the only driver out of the race. The crash you just saw on lap 23 that has put us under these non-counting caution laps. There is the damage to Burton's car, the Bill Davis Pontiac on the right side. Packed house here at Daytona as Speed Week kicks off.
And we've got a packed field now because it's brought the whole field together for these last 2 laps.
And when we were talking about the rules this morning, Buddy Baker said, oh, goody, when I said they're going to restart double file.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. I know there's some people that don't want to see that happen. Jeff Gordon, for one.
2 laps to go. It's Gordon in a Chevy. Ernie Irvan's Pontiac. Rusty Wallace in a Ford. Bobby Labonte, Kenny Schrader, John Andretti as they'll form up to restart, and we'll be back to Daytona. 1 lap to the restart. Coming up next, college basketball, Kentucky versus Villanova, or some of you will see Missouri against number 3 Kansas later this afternoon and all evening from Nagano. The 18th annual Winter Olympic Games pairs figure skating competition highlights this evening's coverage. Jeff Gordon on the point for this double file restart. Ned Jarrett, what does he have to do to win it from the pole?
Well, he's got to get a real good acceleration right from the beginning. Try to get in the first turn without a car on the outside of him.
Good luck.
Buddy, Ernie Irvan outside front row, 2 laps to go. What must he do?
He needs to lay back just a little bit. In a minute the 24 hits the accelerator, anticipate when he's going to start and get a little jump on him. That'll get him in there on the bottom part of the racetrack in front. But let me tell you, the third place car should have the advantage going down because he has the draft off the first 2 cars. He can jump to the bottom of the racetrack and take the spot.
Well, that's Rusty Wallace in number 2. Bobby Labonte in 4th place, Ned. Has he got a good shot?
I think Rusty has a better shot, like Buddy said, down on the inside, but Bobby Labonte has an awfully fast race car. Now, if he and Ernie Irvan in the other Pontiac right in front of him, if they can take off and out-accelerate him down into turn 1, yes, he'd have an excellent shot.
5th is Kenny Schrader. 6th is John Andretti. Kenny Wallace, Jimmy Spencer, Mike Skinner, Todd Bodine. In 2 laps, in less than 2 minutes, one of these drivers will pocket $100,000. Dick Berggren.
Well, the plan for Jeff Gordon, stay downstairs, try to get Kenny Schrader to go with him, try to get Rusty Wallace to go with him. If he can stay downstairs, he thinks he's going to get it. We're going to go green real soon.
Pace car accelerates off turn number 4. Down the short chute to pit road. 2 laps, 100 grand to the winner. Jeff Gordon brings them up to speed. Green flag, and he's got a good restart. Irvan is right with him.
Irvan's going to try to stay out there. That'll help everybody else.
Todd Bodine switches lanes, goes up high, deep in the field. Side by side, Chevy and Pontiac for the lead.
You can see him almost bump drafting there. Bobby Labonte's falling back. Here comes Spencer.
Tire rub perhaps on Labonte. Andretti clipped him, and he gets slammed into by Joe Nemechek.
And the caution is coming out.
But they do race back to the flag.
I believe in this case they'll probably redo what we just did. I don't know. We'll have to check it out and see. But you're right. The rules were that they race back to the flag. So they are racing back to the flag.
Ernie Irvin up high by himself. Everyone else to the bottom of the racetrack. Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, and Kenny Schrader. Forge is ahead into third, and Jimmy Spencer to fourth as they come across to take the second caution flag of the day. And hapless Joe Nemechek was at full speed and had no place to go when Bobby Labonte's car slowed and then scraped the wall.
Yeah, something happened to his race car, Bobby Labonte, and he was up there in the high groove, and others were coming around, and Nemechek had nowhere to go.
That's Bobby Labonte trying to make it around to the pits.
Yeah, you can hear the tires and everything flapping under there. Terrible. Look at the damage to that car.
There was smoke from the rear of Labonte's car as it slowed. Hard to tell what from. And you saw on Nemechek's windshield view, it looked like that windshield may have been covered with oil. Let's see what happened.
Okay, this is the 18 car, Bobby Labonte. And here's Jimmy Spencer coming on the inside. And the 25 of John Andretti right there behind him.
You see smoke out of the back of the car, though,
yes.
Way back up on the racetrack there. He had problems way back up there. Look at Nemechek, nowhere to go.
He was coming off of there at full steam, as Mike said, and right there Labonte was.
And you'll see Nemechek could not turn left. Now there's the start of that smoke. Now Andretti's got to make a move. He's got to get away from that car, and just clips him. Now at that point, Nemechek could be hard on the brake, but from 190 miles an hour, there's no way to slow in 2 car lengths distance. This is looking back from Bobby Labonte's car. Tire flailing against the fenders. And Dick Berggren has an update.
Mike, Jimmy Maycar, who is Bobby Labonte's crew chief, said that all started when the right front tire was cut going into the corner. The tire went down, and you saw the consequences.
Okay, that's where the smoke came from the tire then, as he went. There's Bobby getting out of the car.
Bobby Labonte is okay, but out of this race.
But on the pole for the Daytona 500.
We'll be back for the final lap of the Bud Shootout. Jeff Gordon leading Rusty Wallace, Schrader, and Spencer. After this, Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, Chevy and Ford will restart on the front row. Schrader's Chevy and Jimmy Spencer's Thunderbird. Ernie Irvin's Pontiac and Kenny Wallace's Ford are the front half dozen, and we have 1 lap left to race. Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Mike, they had cut a deal with Kenny Schrader for that last restart. That worked. It got Rusty to second. Schrader is now in the wrong lane. They'll have to deal with Spencer. They ran out of time.
Let me get those words again. You have to do a deal with Jimmy Spencer. Now let's think about that for just a second here.
I didn't mean to laugh, folks, but there is no such thing as a deal with Jimmy Spencer on the last lap.
Now there's some history here, folks, because when Buddy Baker climbed out of the driver's seat, he was a car owner for several years, and one of his most notable drivers was Jimmy Spencer.
Yeah, and that's why I said there is no deal on the white flag lap with Jimmy Spencer.
Mike Skinner's car is on pit road. Ralph?
Well, we're with Bobby Labonte. Bobby, can you tell me what happened out there?
Yeah, my right front tire went down going into 1, and I had a bunch of cars on me, and I was wanting them there too, but that wasn't the right time to have them on me. So it's just one of those deals where, you know, just didn't have as good luck as we needed to, and unfortunately for us, it tore up a good race car, and it tore up some other cars too, but that's kind of the way it goes. That's racing.
This is not your pole winning car, I hope, and are you set now for the 500? Did you learn anything?
A little bit, but that's not our other car, but you know, it's worst part's tearing something up anyway, but is unfortunate, and you know, we got up to, you know, 4th there towards the end, and we're going to look good on a restart, but you know, things like that happen, and you know, when it does, usually here it happens in a big way.
Have you and your brother had a chance to talk about starting side by side for the first time ever in the Daytona 500?
No, not yet. We'll talk about it later, I'm sure.
You can be sure that conversation will be coming, gentlemen.
Yesterday here at Daytona, in pole qualifying, Terry Labonte was the early pace setter, but then Bobby Labonte, as Buddy would say, held a pretty wheel.
Oh boy, it was a great lap for the Joe Gibbs Racing team.
And for the first time ever at Daytona, brothers will start on the pole. Bobby Labonte inside and Terry Labonte on the outside of the front row. The Great American Races next Sunday, and you'll see it live here on CBS at noon Eastern Time. John Andretti is on pit road, and you remember he bumped Bobby Labonte after Labonte slowed, so they're going to do a little cosmetic surgery to the nose.
And Mike Skinner is on pit road too. They're doing some work on his car up in front of the Andretti car.
The two cars at the front of the field had probably the two quickest pit stops between laps 10 and 12. Here is Jeff Gordon's crew hard at work as they come in. He was the first car into pit road. The tire changers, Shane Parsnow and Mike Trower. Jeff Knight carries those tires. Darren Jolly over the wall as everybody goes up and gets their service. There's Mark Martin closest to the camera, and there Gordon's out and away on the left side of your screen. Good quick pit stop, as was Rusty Wallace and Ernie Irvin. And now one lap will decide it all, because under NASCAR rules, once the white flag waves, you must race back to the flag no matter what happens. So we will see the green and the white flags together, and the next time around it will be the checker. Well, this is interesting, Ned. Two GM cars on the inside and two Fords on the outside row up front.
That is interesting to say the least. And I think whoever accelerates the best when the green flag drops is going to have the best chance up front there.
Rusty Wallace has had a year to think about this. He finished second to Jeff Gordon in last year's Busch Clash. You saw it earlier. See if he has anything for Gordon this time around.
Well, it comes down to like a drag race now, and both people on the front row there, they're both great on restart, so they won't give anything up.
And they'll look for the green next time by as they, no, I'm sorry, we'll take at least another lap under caution here. Since these caution laps do not count in the Bud Shootout, good time for us to take a quick break from Daytona. We'll be back for that last lap after this. 25 laps for last year's fastest qualifiers, and it's down to the last lap for $100,000 to win. Jeff Gordon is the leader, Rusty Wallace is second, and Dick Berggren, what's the strategy, the third place driver?
I just took a walk down to Kenny Schrader's pit, and I asked his car owner and crew chief, Andy Petrie, who you going to hook up with. He looked at me, he smiled, he said, all my friends have already left. He's on his own.
That's Schrader in that black and green 33, a two-time winner of this race. Buddy, you know how hard it is to win this. You won it in '79, but you also led 19 of the 20 laps and got passed on the last lap by Neil Bonnet.
You know how crucial this is. Jeff Gordon give a race away in Pocono on a restart, so I'm sure that's running through his mind. Don't make a mistake. Those guys on the front, if they make a mistake, hey, you know what happened to Labonte just a second ago? Somebody will run into you.
Ned, what's that whine we're hearing in Gordon's car?
That's the gearing in it. Yes. He's checking it out. He's accelerating a little bit and then backing off.
Those road racing transmissions make a sound that you won't ever forget. They whine. Every time you get on the accelerator, you can hear the gears whining like that.
Sounds like somebody dragging a cat.
On a tin roof.
Jeff Gordon, number 24, last year's winner of, well, everything. The Busch Clash, the Daytona 500, and the Winston Cup Championship. Folks, when they get the green flag, they're going to race one lap. The winner gets $100,000.
You know, we talked about Gordon. He's good. As Buddy said, he knows he's already lost a race by not getting a good restart. So he knows that he has to accelerate into that first turn first. But Rusty Wallace is also a master at it out there on that outside. So
the one thing they can't do, though, they can't jump the lead man. If they jump him, they'll take it away from him. So it's up to Gordon to start the race.
They're at the end of the 3,000-foot backstretch at the Daytona International Speedway, up into the banking and getting set for the final restart. Ralph Shaheen.
Mike, Kenny Schrader just said on the radio he's getting good pull out of first gear, not a good pull out of second, but a good pull out of third. Second gear is going to be critical for him on this restart.
Pace car holds them at 70 miles per hour. They'll be at 190 when they come back around for the checkered flag. This is it, the 25-lap shootout. Everybody's down to their last bullet. 1 lap to go.
this is exciting.
Can they anticipate Gordon and get a jump on the man who won nearly everything last year? Rusty's out in front of him. Gordon got off the gas. Green flag.
Gordon is still very, very slow.
And Jimmy Spencer drops to the inside. Here comes Spencer. He and Rusty Wallace may trade a little paint down in turn one.
Rusty Wallace has some help on the outside there.
That's Kenny Wallace, little brother, trying to shove Rusty to victory lane.
Look at Bill Elliott in the 94 there in third. 3 Fords on the outside of Jimmy Spencer there. Also a Ford.
Coming up the inside is Schrader in that black and green 33. Coming up to help Jeff Gordon, the leader, went to dead last on the restart. Here they go into the turn 3, banking for the final time.
And
it's Rusty Wallace right on the bottom there, Ned.
The brothers work together, and it's going to get a win.
Off turn 4. 1,500 feet away from $100,000. Rusty Wallace comes to the flag and wins the Bud Shootout. Kenny Wallace, Bill Elliott, Jimmy Spencer, Kenny Schrader, the top 5, and Jeff Gordon.
Coasting around. He evidently stripped a gear or something on that restart.
And the Fords, which at one point in this race, but for Rusty Wallace, were mired deep in the field, finish in the first 4 positions. To the garage goes Jeff Gordon. Dick Berggren.
Jeff Gordon just radioed to his crew, Mike. He's upset about what happened on the restart. He said they all jumped me. What happened to the caution?
What Dick is saying is as they come down for the restart, when Rusty Wallace in the blue car got out ahead of Gordon, Gordon got off the gas and expected they would not restart the race.
Mike, you see that white line right there on the front straightaway? That's when the race starts.
Jeff Gordon was a lap away from $100,000 and now sits in the garage.
Apparently nothing did happen to his car. I guess he just backed once they all passed him and said, hey, I might as well just coast on around and see what happens.
Gordon is but 26 years old, but he's a 21-year veteran of short track racing. And when something like that happens and the outside car jumps a restart, usually the pole driver can back out of the gas and the starter will not start the race. Here it happened.
Okay, you're riding with Jeff Gordon right here. You see the pace car just in front of him. Okay, he's in low gear there. He starts to accelerate just a little bit. There's the white line we were talking about. Here comes Spencer to the inside.
Well, his gears are working. His engine's working.
He's accelerating, but Rusty Wallace came around the outside on the restart. And thanks to younger brother Kenny giving him a drafting shove down in turn number 1. Wonder if he'll split that $100,000 with little brother. We'll find out. Rusty Wallace is in victory lane. Winner of the Bud Shootout. Runner-up last year, first place this year.
Buddy.
Ken Squires in victory lane.
Unquestionably the best all-star race to lead Speedweeks off in history. Rusty Wallace victorious after 12 tries. Here he comes, uncinching himself out and getting a tremendous ovation and not so big ovation from some as he defeats Jeff Gordon in this last lap shootout. Rusty, congratulations.
Oh man, thanks a lot, Ken. It's really appreciated. It's a great race. You know, I had to get going on the end there, and I guess he missed a gear or something, but man, this Taurus was honking today, and I had little Kenny behind me. He stuck it right up there. We went to the front. It was great.
Did you fake him out on that start? restart at the last lap?
Man, I don't know what I'd done. All I know is that when I was ready, I had the thing cleared out and I was ready to rock. You know, I think that's always been one of my strong points. It's got me in trouble a couple times, but evidently I nailed it and he nailed it, and something broke in his car because the whole field drove past him. But a great day for the Ford Taurus. Its first victory at Daytona. I'm real proud for it. The adventures of Rusty's car was here. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Miller, Mead, Mobile, all of them. They did a great job.
You better thank your brother, too. Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Jeff, what happened?
Well, it's pretty disappointing that they let a restart like that get away. You know, I mean, Rusty jumped the start big time before. They said area of the 76 ball. He started taking off long before we got there. But I don't know if it matters anyway. You know, I was waiting for the caution because I knew they weren't going to start. I was like, there's no way they're going to let that happen. And then I broke fourth gear coming up through the gear, so I was done anyway.
Did you feel like it was up to the leader to set the pace to the line?
I know it is. They said it right in the driver's meeting. They said the leader, you know, sets the pace. He starts the race. It certainly wasn't that way today.
Rusty Wallace wins the Busch Clash. Fourth time the winner has led only the last lap. Kenny Wallace finishes second, big payday. Bill Elliott, Jimmy Spencer, Kenny Schrader, and Jeff Bodine finishing sixth. Ernie Irvin, Mark Martin, John Andretti, and Todd Bodine, the top 10. Then Dale Jarrett and Johnny Benson in 12th. Mike Skinner, Jeff Gordon credited with 14th. Bobby Labonte, Joe Nemechek, and Ward Burton ended up in the garage. This is Mike Joy saying so long from Daytona, where Rusty Wallace has won the Bud Shootout.